welcome to all of you at this session on Role of Women in Holistic and Sustainable Global Development at the 8th Parliament of World Religions. As I begin this session, I'm reminded of the words of Swami Vivekananda, who was the first to represent my country, India, in the historic World Parliament of Religions in 1893 at Chicago. Swami Vivekananda said, "There is no hope for that family or country where women are not valued. For this reason, they have to be raised first. There is no chance for the welfare of the world unless the condition of woman is improved. Woman is an epitome of power. When she is no longer oppressed, she will immensely benefit the world at large with her unique inherent qualities." Over centuries, a lot of efforts and progress has been made to uplift and empower women. Today, we see the wheels of change set in motion with 4 billion women of the world globally. Though there is still a long way to go. Women comprise almost 50% of the world's population. Yet, women continue to be underrepresented in several sectors, including management, politics, and leadership. In this session, the eminent panelists will deep dive on women's multifarious capabilities, enabling robust and holistic global development, and her contribution in instilling compassion and right value system in the next generation, in line with the Parliament theme of the year, opening our hearts to the world, compassion in action. So let's begin with a brief introduction of our panelists today. I'm Swati Jain, and I'll be moderating the session today. I have 21 years of professional experience across various multinational organizations, including EXL, Cognizant, Ernst & Young, and several startups. I currently work with EXL in artificial intelligence. Academically, I have done PhD economics from Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi, and Masters in Business Economics from Delhi University. Though I have been nationally recognized in the field of artificial intelligence, I'm passionate about spiritual intelligence and run a forum for like-minded professionals in my community. I am also passionate about women education and independence, leading to her greater contribution to society as a whole. Along with me is Jyoti Singhvi, who is the CEO of the ACE Group, a professional and executive learning and development edtech firm. With corporate experience at Cartier, IBM, and KPMG Consulting, Jyoti's career ranges over multiple areas such as technology, business development, marketing, branding, product management, and CRM. Publications like Newsweek, Bloomberg Business Week, INC 5000, MIT Sloan Magazine, and Four Seasons have featured Jyoti. Jyoti has earned an MPA from Harvard and an MBA from MIT. Philanthropically, Jyoti works towards women's empowerment and children's development. Jyoti is on the board of MIT Sloan Club of New York, the Harvard Club Program Committee, Harvard Entrepreneur in Residence, Jito Executive Mentor, and the Resolution Project sponsoring Sustainable Development Goals. Moving to our second panelist, Dr. Jitika. Dr. Jitika Jain is a celibate devotee of the spiritual and benevolent Digambaracharya Sri Vidyasagar Ji Maharaj. She is one of the chiefs among the 300 celibate members of an organization, Pratibha Mandal. Under one common head, Pratibha Mandal runs 5 educational institutes, handloom centers, and handicraft work centers promoting self-employment and self-reliance for women in a number of villages. Dr. Jitika Jain is an MBBS doctor and after short but valuable services in emergency department of various hospitals, she dedicated herself for self-attainment and in the services of humanity. She is a gold medalist in Masters of Education from Indore. Chosen as a leading speaker in Youth Parliament 2018, she was awarded at the Parliamentary House, New Delhi. Presently, as a thoughtful educationist, she is committed to nurture girl students and bring up an ethical and responsible citizen in them. Female feticide, education of girl child, and promotion of khadi handloom and self-employment are the different fronts where she works. She is a passionate warrior, fighting against imprisoned mindset of society against women. Now, moving on to our third panelist, Sister Deepa. Sister Deepa is a commerce graduate from Mumbai University and has been associated with the Brahma Kumaris since her childhood. She is a senior Raj Yoga meditation teacher and has over 3 decades of experience as a senior faculty for self-development workshops for different wings like the business and industry wing, IT wing, and security services wing of the Brahma Kumaris. Sister Deepa has been a speaker and panelist at various national and international forums, including Inner Space at Cambridge, London, TEDx Juhu, and TEDx Bhubaneswar. Apart from businesses, Sister Deepa is a sought-after faculty in several educational institutes. Sister Deepa is actively involved in counseling activities and has conducted sessions for several hospitals. Besides, she also provides counseling to women and youth, providing spiritual knowledge to deal with day-to-day problems and develop a vision and clarity of life objectives. Her sessions on self-esteem and self-empowerment have been an inspiration for hundreds of women across India and other parts of the world. Moving to next panelist, Sonal Jaiswal. Sonal Jaiswal is a spiritual and wellness coach. She completed her bachelor's in technology in computer science from Kolkata and then management studies from Lancaster University, UK. She has done a master's in psychotherapy and counseling from Nagpur and a course in emotional intelligence from London. Sonal was awarded as Top 10 Outstanding Young Achievers in 2010 by JCI India and had a monthly column in Economic Times All India edition. Sonal is devoted towards Gau Seva, cow care, and manages her Goshala with 150 plus Desi Gomatas, Desi cows. Sonal has also taken innumerable inspirational sessions for women to help them achieve their work-life balance and help in relationship building. Currently, Sonal is helping women to create the best version of their baby in the womb itself through her values in womb sessions. So now, after this vivid introduction of the outstanding members of our panel today, let's move on to hear their views. Starting with Sonal. Sonal, our religious scriptures and theory of karma states that our body form and shape are all a result of our own karmas. Our being born as woman is also influenced by the same. My question to you is to elaborate on unique qualities of women compared to man and her role in creation.
Yeah. Jai Jinendra to all. It has been very beautifully stated that men are from Mars and women are from Venus, and they both got together, got married, and settled in Earth. Little it was known then that it has been directly taken from our own scriptures. Our scriptures talk about the subtle bodies, the energy bodies, which are the 7 chakras that lie along the vertebral column. And at the navel lies the Manipur chakra or the solar plexus, which is made up of fire energy. And as we say, the fire in the belly, it is actually that which gives achievement orientation, which gives confidence, which is that competitive spirit, that do and die energy. The just do it spirit, which is all about male awareness. It deals more with things and how they work. So it is all about how the male energy is made up of, and it resides at our Manipura solar plexus at our navel. Again, the Venus planet, it resides in our Swadhisthana chakra, which is four fingers below our navel, also called the sacral chakra. And this chakra is full of water energy, and like water, it is free flowing. It is full of creativity. It is full of life. It is full of energy, and it deals. Unlike Manipura, it deals more with people and less with things. And that is what women energy is all about. She's more about relationship, bonding, creativity, nurturing. She's a bundle of joy, a bundle of pleasure. She's all about life and vitality. Now, when we see from a neuroscience perspective, then what we find that the male awareness is more dominant at the left side of the brain, while the female awareness is more on the right side. The left side of the brain deals with logic and reasoning, while the right side is all about creativity and relationship. And moreover, the male neural network is more wired from front to back, and due to which it increases their perception and their action orientation, and they've got more wiring in their spatial and the motor areas. So they are excellent at hand-eye coordination, motor skills, reading maps, and all the stuff. While on the other hand, women are more wired from left to right, linking both the hemispheres together, and that actually makes us multifaceted and multi-talented. And that is what is symbolically represented in our scriptures also in the form of Ma Durga, where she's Ashtabhuja with eight different things doing at one go. So this is the reason behind that, because her left and right wiring achieves her to do this. And again, she has got more wiring in the areas of communication and relationship and memory, and that is the reason why she can just remember everything to the T. Even that happens few years back, and this is what really scares male, especially husbands, their memory power. And if we see from the biological perspective, then she is she plays the unique role in nurturing, because she can conceive, she can deliver, and she can feed kids. That is something which men cannot do at all. And the reason behind this is because when we go back at the primitive days, then men were all about getting things done. Like they were hunters and gatherers, while women were all about nurturing, taking care of the families. But now, as things have progressed, women are expanding their roles, they're widening the horizon, and now they're not working one time, they're actually working two times. And this is increasing their challenges, this is increasing the diversity, and this is what our esteemed panelists are going to discuss further about it. So over to Dr. Swati to take the views of the other panelists. Thank you so much.
Great articulation, Sonal. It's great to hear the unique characteristics of women. Now I'd like to move on to Jyoti to get her views on criticality of women to understand and be aware of her own strengths and abilities, as well as talk about the importance of focus on diversity that organizations across the world are placing today.
It's a pleasure to be here, Swati. Thank you, everyone. So you're absolutely right. Women need to really understand what their intrinsic strengths are. We're born with it, and we subconsciously use these skills, strengths that we're just inherently adept with, not really necessarily knowing that they're very unique and they can really complement the male counterparts, either in the family or at work or in our communities. Now, what are these qualities that women have? Generally speaking, most women have to a certain degree or the other. And if these are used in a strategic and thoughtful way, we can really do wonders for our own family and our community and our work. Now, a lot of us know women have patience, tolerance, humility. Women are higher in emotional quotient. They are empathetic, understanding. And these are the qualities really, really sought after, especially in different organizations. There are trainings now to increase the EQ and empathy of generally all professionals. Women are definitely a lot more giving, nurturing, dedicated. They have that service mentality. And you will see that how that really benefits the families, but also workplace. I'll show that later. They're emotionally strong. We may seem that we're weak, but we're way stronger. We have this special wisdom, which comes from intuition. And then that can be really leveraged not only for creating a vision and strategy, but women can execute. We can execute down to the T. We can execute with multiple balls in the air. We can execute with limited resources, limited time, ambiguous situations. Women can do all of that. Of course, they're multi-talented, multifaceted, as Sonal mentioned. And we are very adaptable. And we have that ability to take risks. In fact, there was a Harvard Business Review study which said that companies which have more women in the professional circuits, they're a lot more effective in taking and managing risks. Now, what is the benefit of women in the workplace? I'll just give you one benefit, right? There are many, many benefits, but since we're talking about returns and ROI, let me talk about this. Harvard cited a study, and in that study, they ranked Fortune 500 companies, and they ranked them in the order of how many women are in their executive boards. And it was very interesting to see that the top quartile of those companies were the companies which had 42% greater return on their sales versus any other companies. So that's the power of women being in your leadership and being in your professional circles, in your employee circles. Now, let me talk about how women really can contribute to your family, uplifting your family, your community, maybe your entire nation. I'm going to illustrate a short and real story of Tararai Trent. And this is a real story. She was a girl born in immense poverty in Zimbabwe, in a small town in Zimbabwe, actually a village. And she was not allowed to go to school. All she wanted to do is study. But her father got her married at a very young age. By age 18, she had 3 children. Unfortunately, her husband was very abusive and was physically beating her up. So all she did was just take care of the children. One day there were two social workers who arrived from the US, and they asked all the girls in the village, so what is your dream? And when it came to Tararai, she just stared at the sky. And they nudged her again, Tararai, what is your dream? Huh? Am I allowed to even dream? They said, yes, of course you can. You can have dreams. Well, one day I would really love to maybe go to the US and get a degree, maybe get an education. Well, that just went. Then about 8 years later, she did go to the US and she went to Oklahoma to study there. She went with her husband and her 5 kids. She had 5 kids. She was still very, very poor. She actually had to scrummage for food from the trash cans on the streets just to feed her children. Her nurturing aspect still existed. Her raising the family part, bringing up her kids was still there, but she was also focused on her goal. And then she got an undergraduate, a bachelor's degree from Oklahoma. You wouldn't believe it. A few years later, she got a master's also from UC Berkeley. And a few years later, she got a PhD. So if a woman with no means and barely any education or support can do this, we can do this too. She later created a foundation, and this is what she's doing. Her foundation is opening up schools everywhere in Zimbabwe and teaching not only women, but also the male child. And that's how she has changed her own family and really uplifting the entire community.
Thanks so much, Jyoti, for elaborating on this very important topic of women's strengths and her realizing her own strengths, and also her role in organizational growth as well as society and nation at large. Now moving on to Dr. Jitika. Dr. Jitika, I'm reminded of this quote by Michelle Obama, and I strongly believe in this as well. The difference between a broken community and a thriving one is the presence of women who are valued. With a specific focus on values, I'd like to know your thoughts on women's role in nurturing a family, a society, a nation, and the world at large.
Namaste, Jai Jinendra. Wonderful thoughts have been put up by the panelists, and thank you for putting this question to me. I feel a woman with values turns the house into home. There's a verse from Mahabharata which says, Na graham grahamityahur grahani grahamuchyate, which means the house is not just a house, the woman itself is a house, wherein the man dwells, and she's in charge of that house. And the roles are also very well specified. The man is the earner of the family, whereas the woman is the governor of the family. Nature has also exhibited us the role of each. And as we know, biologically, a man and woman are structurally as well as functionally different. Now, talking about the unique role of the mother, she is the only one who has the capability to bear, rear, and nurture her family. She is the one who can build the emotional quotient in her child, and she is the one who can transmit the immunological factors through her breastfeeding in colostrum, and I know which she always take care of. Now, talking about the role of the women from the glorious past of Bharat, as a role of a spiritual mother, Srimati Putli Bai, the mother of our father of nation Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi ji, asked him to take 3 vows before he left Bharat. He took the first vow as not to drink alcohol, the other vow being not to eat non-vegetarian food, and the third one to look at any woman as his mother or sister. Gandhiji strictly followed all these in his life and became successful. The another role is of Rajmata, that is the national mother, Mother Jijabai, the queen of Maratha King Shivaji. She sacrificed her married life for the well-being of the nation. Shahaji challenged her that you keep Shivaji and I'll keep Sambhaji, and let's see who builds the great empire. She passed all the values, virtues, and valor in him, and he built the largest empire throughout. Before the death of King Shahaji, he met his wife and he praised her, admitting that Jija, you won. There are n number of examples. Other example is of Mother Queen Lakshmi Bai. She became the powerful leader of the Maratha princely state of Jhansi and was a brave warrior who fought against the Britishers. Another example is of Rani Padmini. She is revered for purity and sacrifice. Another example, Jodha Bai. She was a culinary artist, along which she looked after the Ministry of Foreign Trade and Commerce in the Emperor Akbar's court. History is full of such examples that very well shows us the role of a woman. And the woman becomes unique when she plays her role than his role. I know in this male-dominating world, now we are striving hard to establish our existence and compete equally with men. And yes, we have overcome the obstacles using our intellect to support financially. We have become the market leader all across the world, and we are dedicated to work overtime for our career. But my dear women, just by excelling in one subject will not make you outstanding. Despite excelling in all the subject as a whole makes you outstanding. And studies have also revealed when there is absence of mother, it shows negative effects on the child's development. It widens the distance between them, which results in distress and lack of empathy for the child as well. There are a few questions that arises. Why the number of crimes are high today? Why psychological disorders, frequent divorces, stress-related diseases like hypertension are high today? Why the young generation is morally weak, and why there is a need to consume preserved unhealthy food? That's because the woman has now overemphasized on only one aspect of her role. And thus there is a need for a woman to invest herself. Listen, I would repeat, it's the investment. Women need to invest herself to her family, and the woman who does her household chores efficiently can work as well and grow her family and the nation as a whole. And that's what makes her unique. That's what I would like to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chitika. Amazing examples from Indian history around the different facets of women and her role in creating a better family, a better society, and a better nation. Now, over to Sister Deepa. Sister Deepa, women have suffered for ages that has given them infinite patience and infinite perseverance. Women indeed possess uncomparable qualities. So, my question to you is what women need to do to sustain her strengths, her unique qualities, so as to benefit the world at large?
You. And I think our wonderful panelists have already given us a lot of insight into this uniqueness and speciality of women. And as she invests so much of her time to not only her family, but also to her career and so many other dimensions of her life, she needs to also invest in herself. And a woman needs to recognize that she herself is a wonderful human being, a wonderful creation of the divine, a very special soul with a unique role in society. And as soon as she becomes aware of her own uniqueness, she creates some time for herself where she can look within, recognize her virtues, her qualities, her specialities as a child of the divine. And every day, when she spends that little quality time of self reflection, but also self empowerment, by allowing the divine to fill her with that unlimited calmness, purity, divinity. And she recognizes that, yes, she is special and she has the opportunity throughout the day to be aware of that uniqueness, speciality, and contribute in every area of her life. But yes, throughout the day, she needs to invest again a little time, just a few moments also, to be able to sustain herself, to be able to refresh herself, recharge herself. So, taking care of her body is also important, taking care of her self, that is her innate self, that is her mind, her feelings, her emotions, the soul is also very important. And when the woman integrates this in her daily life, she becomes a role model for her family. And they also automatically take that inspiration and they also start taking care of their state of mind and feelings. And then she's able to nurture this experience of emotional empowerment, the spiritual empowerment that is helping every individual in her family and also in her workplace. And then surely society to also add on not only to the emotional quotient in their life, but also the spiritual quotient in their life. And this combined awareness, the intelligence, the emotional and the spiritual quotient in a combined way makes her very unique and powerful. And when she constantly is aware of her uniqueness, that she is a Shakti, that she is an angel of the divine, then she also realizes that those virtues are there for her to contribute in a very beautiful way, in a very positive way, to add value wherever she is. So she becomes that image of support, that image of love, the image of compassion for everyone around her. So she's special, but she needs to take care of herself and invest time in her own spiritual recharging also.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sister Deepa. Amazing articulation of women sustaining herself through her own self-esteem, realizing that she is an instrument to make the environment around her better. So now moving on to Dr. Jitika. Dr. Jitika is associated with Girls Education Institute, which not only focuses on girls' technical, financial, and artistic education, but also focuses a lot on the importance of values. So, Dr. Jitika, I want to ask you the importance of skills in women education and also the importance of values and how your institute focuses on the same.
Thank you. An interesting question is posed to me. I feel values creates place in the space of hearts of others. Our institution imparts education to girls with the blessings of Ikshwat Acharya Vidyasagarji Maharaj, our Guru. And we strive to inculcate values like tolerance through preachings and practice of Karma Siddhanta, chastity through setting an ideal and giving the environment of the same, honesty in a way that the students undergoing examinations do not require any invigilator. We promote self-discipline over discipline, We instill the feeling of respect for self and others. We reinforce sacrifice through sharing and growing. For sound mind, we promote righteous use of brain, that is not doing pragya aprad. We appreciate realizing the inner beauty as real beauty. We boost devotion through Guru Agya Palan and definitely spirituality in them. Along with these values, in our Jain scriptures, women's 64 skills are stated, which we try to inculcate in them. One of them is Pak Kala. It's the universal responsibility of a woman to to cook food which doesn't harm any living organism. And if she cooks non-vegetarian food that releases an intense pain wave and an unfelt curse may influence her family, she chants mantras with vatsalya, that is love and emotion, while cooking food, and that food acts as a medicine. And it is also her moral responsibility to know the gundharm of all the food items and prakriti of all the family members for their better health. This is how we impart the skills in them, and the rest are also being taken care of. Now, as we know that there are many personalities, I would like to give an example. Like, see, Barack Obama, APJ Abdul Kalam, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi ji, Albert Einstein, and a few other examples like Osama bin Laden, Dawood Ibrahim, Kasab, etc. They all had high IQ. But what was the difference between them? The difference was of values. And thus, we feel a valuable environment is very important. And we impart to engross the values in them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jitika, for giving such beautiful examples about the importance of values and also about the multiple skills that women need to possess. Now over to Jyoti. Jyoti, women have immense strengths. They're powerful, but that power does not get revealed. What do you think are the challenges that restrict women to contribute her best to the society?
The challenges are immense, and oftentimes she doesn't even think that these are challenges. She just feels that this is the way to be, and she just tries to overcome those hurdles. One of the big challenges for our women is lack of education, training, guidance. And a lot of times it's even vocational training that she doesn't get. There is another screen that I'm just gonna just share. There's balancing act. She is constantly balancing between her household work and her work stuff and children, whereas men have this one track focus and they can just kind of sprint towards their work. The other thing is that she has to fight against these mindsets of people around her, family, work, community, etc. And she probably has this mindset, the blocking mindset, the barricading mindset, even for herself. So these mindsets, the negative mindsets, just need to be shattered and let her come out victorious. And finally, there is still a wage gap, not only just in developing countries, but also in developed countries. Even in the US, for every dollar a man makes, for the same job, a woman makes 82 cents. So that wage gap still exists. Now the question arises, what do we do to overcome these challenges? The first thing is that we need to be mindful as fellow community or work members or family members, whether we're men or women, of other women around us that they face these challenges. And then let's encourage them to believe in themselves. The women need to really start believing in themselves. And then they need to, that I can do it. I want to be somebody. And then they need to communicate their goals, their wishes, their desires, their aspirations. They need to also communicate their likes and dislikes. Oftentimes women just kind of go along with the flow. Okay, my family likes it, I'll do this. If I don't like it, I'll still go for it. But that's not how it should be, right? So communicate and share your ideas, and then just believe and go for it. And us as community members or colleagues or bosses of these women, let's just really support her, inspire her, guide her, mentor her, and stand up for her, stand by her, because one empowered woman can strengthen and really, really make any family, community, or country really, really amazing. So all it takes is to empower our women and let them just go for it.
Thank you, Jyoti. You beautifully put across challenges faced by women. in terms of various responsibilities that come along the way, and also amazing ideas around how women can overcome them. Now, over to Sonal. Sonal, Jyoti has put across the various responsibilities that come along the way. There's an imminent need to balance home and work, because that alone can ensure a progressive society and also satisfaction of women herself. How do women strike that balance?
Thank you so much, Dr. Swati, for putting up such a beautiful question. Balance is actually the law of nature, and it is the crux of any successful woman, because women's life undergo a lot of varying priorities. It's full of variations like a bell curve, wherein there is a particular point where her role of as a nurturer takes the lead, takes the predominance. When she's like pregnant, she's delivering the child, she's feeding, she's taking care of the toddler, then that time that role becomes very, very important. And then there is a time when the kids, the family is all settled, they're all by themselves and they're all on their own life. And that is the time when that vacuum sets in and she actually needs to strive towards self-actualization. But if she has not done that before, she won't be able to do it at that time. So it is very important for the woman to actually understand these varying priorities, and she has to work in accordance to those priorities, because many times it happens that when woman is in that nurturing role, then that times the male, as our esteemed panelist Ms. Jyoti has just shared, that men are just focused on one track, and they were just one domain to look upon, one domain of expertise, and they just move on and on in their career path. And that time the woman who is, because taking care of the nurturing role, she takes a backseat. So that times a feeling of depression, a feeling of unworthiness sets in, and she feels that she's not able to achieve enough. And again, there is a time when she's able to do a lot, and if she's not done before, then she won't be able to do. So it is really, really important that she needs to handle her role really well and should not take in that kind of feeling, because when men are just taking care of one role, she's taking care of so many other roles. It's said that behind every successful man there is a woman. It is said that if you teach a woman, you teach an entire family. So a woman is not setting the foundation just for her life, she's setting the foundation of the entire society, the world, and the future generations at large. So a woman should not just compare herself to one particular area, but she should take care of her life holistically, in a complete manner, and holistically she should see what she's achieved, and her feeling of self-actualization and a feeling of completeness should come from that holistic feeling rather than any lopsided success. This will actually what will make women more beautiful, and every time whenever she achieves in any of the spheres of her life, she should pat her back and not wait for somebody else's approval for doing that. She should pat herself. That's what I want to share.
Thank you so much, Sonal. Thank you for talking about this important point for ensuring holistic development of society. Now, over to Sister Deepa. Sister Deepa, please throw some light on compassionate qualities of women, which is in line with the Parliament theme of the year.
Thank you so much. And I think Sonal then very beautifully shared about this balance which we need to have. And for being able to contribute through compassion, care, nurturing, the woman, as I was sharing, needs to take care of herself. And she needs to realize that she is emotionally independent of everything from the outside. Even in the world of work, as we see in today's challenging situations, and we have seen from examples of Jyoti Ben and Chitika Ben, that she has the power within. If she chooses, she can move beyond any challenges, any limitations which the world may be putting on her in the form of whichever limitations are there. And she can still realize her potential. But she needs to choose to think of herself as special, as a child of the divine, as someone who is very, very powerful from within, and yet have that balance of self-esteem and allowing her virtues and qualities to be used to contribute. And for that, we find as soon as you reconnect with your own self, the individual, a woman or a man, realizes that they are full of love and compassion for the world. And this compassion which we have from within as our speciality, as our innate quality, is when it's experienced from within, and when I'm aware of myself as a compassionate soul, as a compassionate child of the divine, then it is naturally expressed through my thoughts, words, and actions. And it's not only words and actions, but my thoughts, because that create that energy wherever I am.
Thank you, Sister Deepa, for such an amazing experience. Thank you so much. So very quickly, I will just go around the table and ask you one advice for women so that they can contribute more in holistic and sustainable global development. So beginning with Jyoti.
So you have these amazing powers and gifts within yourself. Don't keep them and don't hold them back. Bring them to the world. The world really needs them. And just be assertive and just be confident about yourself. You're amazing. Know that.
Thank you. Thank you, Jyoti. Dr. Jitika.
I would say that you can support your family in any way, as well as financially. If you stay at your home, you can start small scale industries as well, and through work you can do anything. Purity is the true strength in you. Keep it safe and boost it, and people around her, please give the desired respect to her and give the weightage to her. Take care of her self-esteem. That's what. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Jitika. Over to Sister Deepa.
Yes, you're special, you're unique, you're powerful, you're an angel of love and compassion for the world. The world needs you.
Thank you. Yeah, Sonal.
To my women folks, don't burn yourself in the rat race. Just focus on your holistic self-actualization. And to all the men out there, support your women. And I really want the phrase for the next era should be, behind every successful woman, there is a man.
Thank you. Amazing, Sonal. And one advice I like to put on to everyone is, I'm a very passionate and believer of the power of women. And this power of women comes through her purity. So I would just urge all women to ensure and to work hard to ensure that their purity of thoughts remain in them. Purity of thoughts, purity of action, purity in marital relationships, and purity in all other relationships. That will give women an amazing power, that she will have the power to do miracles that we have studied in our scriptures. I have personally evidenced that in my life and life around me. So now I think we just coming to the end of the session, and such wide perspectives. But everyone, every panel member uniformly understood the criticality of women to come out of her shell and contribute more to this world. The importance of women education and independence cannot be undermined. The need for her to balance her own health, family, career, and spiritual aspirations, as well as other aspirations, is also imminent, and panelists threw light on that. Panelists threw light on unique qualities in terms of compassion, which gives women not only power to achieving what she wants to achieve, but also power to make others achieve as well. I dream of a heavenly world, and that is only possible through women. We have a quote in India that I heard in my childhood. Yatra naryah tu pujate ramante tatra devtaha. Wherever women are worshipped, women are given opportunities to blossom. Gods live there. And where gods live, there's peace, happiness, welfare all around, and all sorts of progress that anyone can ever imagine. So dreaming of that kind of world, and I'm hoping to see such a world in my lifetime. We end this session. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, all the panelists. Wonderful thoughts. I'm sure that this will be a guiding light to women all around the world. Thank you.
Thank you.